Demon Hunter is still tearing up the Hearthstone Ranked ladder, and despite 2 rounds of balance patches, it's still a tier 1 deck.
Demons.
Performing well against several other classes, this is a solid deck to craft if you're looking to rank up quickly. So let's pull up a chair by the hearth and take a quick look at how you play Tempo Demon Hunter. There are a few versions of Tempo Demon Hunter decks, but I'll be focusing on the variant that has continued to maintain a respectable win rate since the 2nd balance patch. This deck costs 5,680 dust to craft and contains 4 legendaries, so you'll need some dust in the bank to craft it. Playing a Tempo deck is straightforward as your cards are mostly quite cheap, making them easy to play on curve. This helps you to build a solid board quickly and ideally close the game by round 7 or 8 to stop your opponent gaining any traction. If your opponent is able to slow down the game, then you're probably in trouble. Half of your deck consists of minions, so that's where a hefty portion of your damage comes from. Face is usually the place for these little guys, unless an opposing threat demands your immediate attention, such as a taunt minion. Crimson Sigil Runner and Skull of Gul'dan help you to continue drawing more cards. Reducing the cost of some of your beefier threats with Skull of Gul'dan makes for some crazy plays. Imagine playing a 6/4 minion that deals 4 damage, as long as your heroes attack this turn, for just 2 mana. After chipping away at your opponent's face in the early game, you have a nice selection of burst damage to finish them off. The thing that really makes Tempo Demon Hunter so disgusting is that so many of their cards can damage your opponent's face, as well as the board. Glavebound Adept, Imprisoned Antian, and Priestess of Fury are all capable of directing their damage straight at your opponent. Altruist the Outcast also deals 1 damage to all enemies, so if you combo him with a few low-cost cards on the outskirts of your hand, you can whittle down threats on the board while still dealing damage to face. To top it off, you even have cards that can ignore your opponent's board and clear the way for you to deal lethal. Kane's Sunfury ignores taunt minions, whereas Maeve's Shadowsong can send anything to sleep for a couple of turns.
I am the Iron Hand of the Wastes!
Now let's take a look at your mulligan. These are instant picks regardless of matchup. Battlefiend is likely to stick for a couple of rounds as it has 2 health. As you'll be attacking early with your hero power, this is a great card to open the game with. Umberwing gives you a weapon and 2 1/1 minions. Building a board of small minions helps you to begin chipping away at your opponent's health. Crimson Sigil Runner is good if it's your left or rightmost card, so that you can take advantage of its outcast ability. Draw is useful, and having a 2/1 threat on the board just helps you to deal more early damage. Against other aggro decks, Twin Slice is good to keep, as you want to have as much damage to hand as possible. Some people may feel pressured to keep Skull of Gul'dan, but I would resist this temptation as your focus is ultimately on dealing damage, and there are very few occasions where this will actually benefit you. Just save it until later. Tempo Demon Hunter performs well against some other tier 1 and tier 2 decks, but it's worth bearing in mind that others will be teching against some of your more powerful options. Your best chances of success depend on you starting with a low cost opening hand, playing on curve, and focusing as much damage as possible on your enemy's face. Overall, this deck does well against most Mage, Warlock, Paladin and Shaman builds. Not that you'll be seeing many Shaman anyway. It's capable of beating Galakron Priest too. Your results versus Hunter may vary, but the Highlander Hunter matchup is generally trickier to master. Their early removal can make it difficult for you to get a decent footing on the board, and they have a steady stream of minions that will tower over yours before long. Decks that are less favourable include Druid, Rogue and Warrior builds. It's possible to win against Spell Druid, but you have to go all out in the early game and essentially win before they have a chance to play their dreaded Glowfly Swarm. Egg Warrior can shut down your entire game plan with their risky skipper Armorsmith combo too. Hopefully this helped to answer some of your questions about playing a Tempo Demon Hunter deck. Keep an eye out for more video guides on our channel soon.